ask Brother David if he'll stand and pray over the lesson tonight. So the title for our lesson tonight is, Are You a Fountain or a Drain? And the testimony that we just received kind of explains some of the things about how negative people can be sometimes. But we live in a world where people are negative about a lot of things. They don't seem to have any hope, don't seem to have any joy. They find negativity in everything that they say and they do. You try to be positive, and it's like they just want to spin it back on you and, say, well, this is such and such. And they just want to be negative about it and everything that they do. But our words are important, and the things that we say can impact others. And as Christians, our words can impact others in certain ways. We can either, in our speech, we can either be depressing or uplifting. We can be discouraging or encouraging. We can be negative or positive. It's all up to us, but we have to make the choice if we want to be positive or not. In general, women are known for talking a lot. But unfortunately, they're also known for being gossipers, busybodies, and tearing each other down. But as a Christian woman, we should be known for having the joy of the Lord in our souls and known for encouraging one another. And I want to go first of all to James 3. If you have your Bibles tonight, turn with me to these verses as I read them. So I'm going to start in James 3, starting at verse 1. It says, My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body. And as I think about that, I think that's got a lot of power right there. If you're able to control your tongue, you're able to control a lot of things in your life. Behold, we put bits in a horse's mouth that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. And a horse, if you've ever ridden a horse before, they weigh a lot. And to be able to turn them about just by turning the reins is a lot to say. Behold also the ships, which though they be so great and are driven by fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. It doesn't take much to start a fire with your tongue, does it? And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. For every kind of beast and birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tamed, and hath been tamed by mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Therefore bless we God, even the Father, and therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. Doth a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter? So the things that we do and the things that we say are a reflection of our heart. It can be like a fountain, or it can be like a drain to people. A fountain symbolizes life, truth, change, and water. A drain causes water or other liquids to run out, leaving it empty or dry. So a drain is the opposite of a fountain. It empties things out instead of filling it up. A fountain pours out water, and water brings forth life. You will never see a fountain drain water out. That is not the purpose or design of how it is created. A drain pulls water away and eventually dries things up. And just as a fountain will never drain water away, a drain will never spring forth like a fountain. That is not its purpose. When we are created after God and born in His Spirit, it's not meant for us to be a drain to people. God intended us to be a fountain of life springing up. And that verse 11 again, it says, "Doth a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter? Just as a fountain does not bring forth sweet water and bitter, neither should a Christian bring forth sweet and bitter words." If someone is willing to talk negative about people or about situations in front of you, be sure they will talk negative about you when you're not around. We should never want to be associated with someone that wants to bring others down. Neither should we be such a person that would do so ourselves. When I was looking up to find a picture to use for the screen tonight, I was trying to find a fountain and a drain together. But you won't find a fountain and a drain together. I didn't find not one picture that was like that. But as I thought about it, I thought, that's the way it should be. We shouldn't be found one day as a fountain and another day as a drain. But we should be a fountain of life to people. And let's go to Matthew 12, verse 34. O generation of vipers, how can ye, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. And you can always tell, if you listen to somebody long enough, you can tell where their heart is at. Just by the words that they say, whether it be cuss words or just negative stuff. But you can tell by what they say whether they're a Christian or not. And let's go to Matthew 15 and verse 18 through 20. But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. For out of the heart proceedeth evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man, but to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man. And let's also go over to Luke chapter 6. And verse 45. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. There are one of two things that will come out of someone's mouth. It will either be evil or it will be good. You can't speak both good and evil, but it's going to be one or the other. And people will see where your heart is at. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 15. And verse 14. The heart of him that hath understanding seeketh knowledge, but the mouth of fools feedeth on foolishness. And also verse 28. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. A person that is righteous, they're going to be careful in what they say. You're not going to see somebody that is righteous just spewing out perverse things or wicked things. But if they're righteous, they're going to be careful as to what they say and how they answer to man. And we're going to go to James chapter 1 again. In verse 19. It says, Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. And as we think about this, we need to, I've heard somebody say one time, they said, you've got 2 ears, you should listen twice as much as you speak. And that can be true, but we should be very careful as we get ready to speak that we're slow to speak, that we don't make any decisions in what we're going to say with haste, but we should be careful as to what we're going to say. We need to ponder our words before we speak and ask God to help us to say what is right. And I'm going to go back to Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 23. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. The Bible teaches us over and over again that the words of our heart will tell whether we are wise or foolish. And you can read in Proverbs, there's multiple scriptures, and I'm only using a few tonight, but there's multiple scriptures that will teach us these things, how that the wise are careful about what they say, but the foolish are not. They just speak out perverse things. And I'm also going to read Proverbs 16 and 24. It says, Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. Have you ever noticed when somebody is speaking and their words are negative, that it just seems to draw something out of you? It's not very pleasant, is it? But when somebody is speaking pleasant words and things that are positive and things that are uplifting and things that are encouraging, it just does something to you. It just encourages you and strengthens you. But you'll see the difference between the negative and the positive. It will affect you emotionally and in different ways. When someone speaks pleasant words, it is sweet to those who hear them, but negative words will be grievous to them. And let's go to Proverbs 10, verse 11. The mouth of the righteous man is a well of life, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. And also Psalms 36 and 9. For with thee is the fountain of life, in thy light shall we see light. When a righteous person speaks, it is a fountain of life, but the wicked will speak things that drain life right out of you. People know the difference in someone just by hearing them speak. And they can tell there is something different about you when you seem to find something good to say in every situation that you're in. They also know when someone is always negative about things. When we go around complaining about everything and putting others down, we drain the joy right out of people. Let's go to Psalms 19 and 14. Have you ever asked yourself, what does God think about my conversation? You ever thought about it? In Psalms 19 and 14, it says, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer." Our desire to please the Lord should be so great that we're even conscious about what we say, and we want to be pleasing to Him, so we want to speak things that are pleasing to Him. When we speak things that are pleasing to the Lord, it will be a fountain of life to others. It will be an encouragement to them as well. And 1 Samuel 30 and verse 6. And this may seem like I'm going off topic here just a moment, but I'm not. When I thought about encouragement and encouraging others, I thought of David. And it says, "And David was greatly distressed for the people's sake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people were grieved, every man for his son and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God." So if we went back and read the story in this situation, we would see that people were upset with David because of all the things that had happened there. But David realized that I'm going to have to encourage myself here because nobody else is going to do it. They want to hurt me, they want to kill me, but God is for me, and so I need to encourage myself. When he began to encourage himself, he was also able to go out and encourage the people as well. David's attitude and response brought about victory in the midst of the trial. Our lives should not only be a fountain of life and encouragement to others, but we should be able to encourage ourselves as well, just as David did during the times of grief and trouble. There will be times when other people aren't around to encourage us, and we will have to encourage ourselves in the Lord. Sometimes there will be people around us, but they won't always give us the encouragement that we need. And let's go over to Job 16 and starting with verse 2. I'm going to read down through verse 6. "I have heard many such things, miserable comforters ye are. Shall vain words have an end, or what emboldeneth thee that thou answerest? I also could speak as ye do. If your soul were in my soul's stead, I could heap up words against you and shake my head at you. But I would strengthen you with my mouth, and the moving of my lips should assuage your grief. Though I speak, my grief is not assuaged, and though I forbear, what am I eased?" And I think about the situation here, and we all know the story of Job and all that he went through, how he lost everything. But when his friends came around, Job called them miserable comforters. The things that they had to say to him was not positive. They were negative. And that wasn't what Job needed at that time. He was able to speak greater words of encouragement going through what he did than his friends could to him. If we aren't careful, we can be the same way when it comes time for us to comfort others. And I thought of a saying that my grandma used to say. She would say, if you can't say something good about someone, then don't say anything at all. And that can stand true when it comes time to speak to someone or to comfort them. If we don't have something positive or something good to say, maybe we just need to refrain from speaking. Everywhere you turn, you will find people complaining about something. And if we aren't careful, we will join in on their complaints. What would happen if instead of approving the negative things people say, we spoke of positive things? People in this world today, they need a story of hope and peace. They need to understand that though things may be going on around them, God is still the great comfort. People have suffered enough. They don't need to hear how bad things are going in our life. They don't need our pity. They need hope. They need someone to speak of the goodness of God. They need to know that there is joy in the midst of sorrow. And going back to Proverbs 25, verse 11. It says, a word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in pitchers of silver. When we say something, we need to make sure that it is something that will be uplifting and encouraging. When we have words of encouragement, it will give strength and peace and hope to those we are speaking to, and it will be priceless to them. And Ephesians chapter 4, verses 21 through 25. If so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Jesus, that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore put away lying, speaking every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. When we become a Christian, our conversation should completely change. We shouldn't be speaking things that would cause people to doubt whether we are a Christian or not. But they should know we are a Christian just by listening to what we say. When we speak, it should be life and encouragement to them. We should never speak in a way that would drain someone. So as I spoke on these things tonight, we have two options. We can either be a fountain or we can be a drain. Which one will you choose? Are you going to be a fountain or are you going to be a drain? Don't be a drain and pull people down. And as I was thinking of this, I thought of a couple songs that some of our children have sang. One of them says, I've got a river of life flowing out of me, makes the lame to walk, cause the blind to see, opens prison doors, sets the captive free. I've got a river of life flowing out of me. Spring up, O well, within my soul. Spring up, O well, and make me whole. Spring up, O well, and give to me thy life abundantly. One of the other songs is, it's bubbling, it's bubbling, it's bubbling in my soul. I'm singing, I'm shouting, since Jesus made me whole. Some folks don't understand it, but I believe it's right. It's bubbling, 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 bubbling day and night. When we have Jesus in our hearts, we should be bubbling over, shouldn't we? And we should have that river of life flowing out of us so that others can see and so that others can be touched and encouraged. And as we dismiss tonight, I'm going to ask all of us to stand. We're going to dismiss in prayer. Brother Gareth, will you lead us out?